Welcome back to another episode of what are we doing? We're building $1 million business. Let's make sure we get all of our channels live. Let's see, can we get NC on here? NC is always the last one because the connection is going on. Here we go. I think we got NC. I think we got it. Let's go. Boom, win that thing. Welcome back. Welcome back, game changers. Welcome back, go getters. Welcome back, hustlers. Welcome back, entrepreneurs. Welcome back, mid-level professionals. Welcome back, corporate executives. Welcome back to all those people who are interested in creating a better life for themselves, right? This channel here, or should I say this series here, is for all those people who believe in freedom. Freedom to make choices in their life. Freedom where they don't have to rely on a 9 to 5 if they're not interested. Freedom to build a wealth channel for themselves, and they're looking for generational wealth, right? These are the game changers. These are the people who are looking for that framework, that playbook, that introduction where you can create a lifestyle and a life that impacts you not only this year, but for generations to come, right? So as always, welcome back. Thank you, game changers. I'm Patrick Hart. I'm your host. And what are we doing? We're building $1 million business. So a little bit about me, if this is your first time here. Veteran, spent 6 years in the military, 2 tours overseas, 1 during 9/11. So shout out to all my veterans. Thank you for dropping in, and thank you for your service, especially with everything that's going on in today's time. The other thing too is a former healthcare executive. I was part of an executive team that we steered a technology company that we sold at the end of 2018 for $750 million. It was quite a lot of money. It changed my life. That experience alone was everything that I was looking for, right? And then in 2023, I became a full-time entrepreneur. And in 2026, I decided, you know what? Let me help other like-minded individuals who are interested in building something for themselves, but they're stuck along that journey of trying to identify the rooms to get in, how to map out the conversations that need to take place, how to build frameworks that actually allow you to generate $1 million in revenue, and then have conversations with people in your network who can change your life but have a substantial impact. This is the place to be. And so this is what I'm doing. I decided to create a series where we're building this thing out in public. And the reason why I wanted to do that, because too many times people try to get you with clickbait. They try to get you to click on something and tell you, oh, we can change your life in 6 months, or I grew from 0 to 1 million followers and I did it in 90 days. You simply follow this playbook. All that family is clickbait. Like, that's designed to keep you entrapped, feeling small, and not actually elevate you to get to the next level. So this series is actually designed to give you the insight and the framework so you too can build your $1 million playbook. So if this is your first time here, thank you for coming. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. Welcome back. Always appreciate you. Listen, so we got 2 goals this year, family, that we're 2 goals. The goals are always the same. One is actually build $1 million here in 2026. So I want to share with you every single episode how we're building our bag here in 2026. The second goal is to build a 50,000 member ecosystem inside my newsletter. So for me, that's going to be my vehicle of impact for not only this year, but for years after that. So let me explain the goals to you. The $1 million playbook is for you, right? It's also for myself, but mainly for you, because I want to be the proof point to help you understand that you too can build your $1 million framework, and you can do it in only 12 months, right? So if you're following my journey, you will see at the end of this, we generated $1 million in revenue. Okay, so it's going to take the full year to get there. The second goal is the 50,000 member ecosystem. The reason why I created this goal is because when you create your own ecosystem, you're not relying on algorithms to push out your message, right? We know these algorithms across all these channels, they begin to change. It doesn't matter what channel they are, they always change. But once you create your own ecosystem, those people, they continue to rock with you, even as you pivot and you make different changes. So that's why you want to create your own ecosystem. So let me pause really quick. I see people coming in. How do you build $1 million? This is exactly what this episode is about. So if this is your first time here, thank you for coming. This is episode 48. What does that mean? There's 47 additional episodes that you may have missed out on before, right? So I created a playlist on my YouTube. It's called Building $1 Million Business. Every single one of these episodes is only 30 minutes long. And every single episode is designed to do one thing: give you the frameworks, the insight, and the knowledge that you need to build your own $1 million playbook as well. So right now, these episodes are free, okay? They're free episodes on the playlist. And not only they're free, but I encourage you to go check those out today versus tomorrow, because one of the things that we know across social media is that your content doesn't last forever. My content right now is live. I can't guarantee it's going to be live for the next 30 days, but today is absolutely is. So if you're just now joining, today it's episode 48. And what are we talking about today, Pat? Talk to me. Tell me, what are we talking about today? Today, we're going to talk about how do you actually turn the attention you're getting into momentum for yourself. That's going to help you get your $1 million bag here in 2026. So I'll pause there and I'll let you know this. We're going to be streaming today on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, as well as TikTok. I got the whole family here. I like to keep it in one place where it's visible. I got the comments, the chat boxes are open. So, hey, just be sweet. Drop your first name. I'll make sure to say hi and thank you for joining. If you're a returning viewer, thank you for coming back. And then the other thing, too, I would like to invite you to do this call to action. Invite other like-minded individuals like yourself who are interested in earning their $1 million bag and doing it in 12 months. So let's kick this thing off. I see TikTok family in there. Yeah, hi, I see you. What's that? Wet? I don't even know what that is. But listen, I like the name, so I appreciate it. TikTok has been showing up for me, and I've only been using TikTok for like 6 months now. Here's the other thing. Our newsletter has been growing like crazy. So in just 2 months, we've gained over 6,000 people who've been rocking with the message already. So if you haven't signed up for the newsletter, there's multiple different ways to do it, right? There's the link, there's the floating banner, there's the QR codes, the link in the bio, or you just simply comment newsletter and I'll make sure you get the personal invite as well. So today, let's kick this thing off. You only got 30 minutes. I got so much I got to get through. I want to give you as much information as possible so you too can build your $1 million playbook. Remember, episode 48, the other 47 is on my YouTube, or if you're on LinkedIn, underneath my events tab, underneath the events tab, you can see the previous 47 that's in there as well. So how do you actually turn attention into momentum so you too can get your $1 million bag here in 2026? So everybody says that they want attention, right? Like we're in the attention economy, and I get that. So everybody wants attention until they actually get it. What do you mean, Pat? Like attention is like, that's what we want, but until you actually get it. Here's what nobody actually tells you. Attention by itself, it doesn't change your life. You need to understand that, family, because a lot of people, we want to get the attention. It doesn't change your life. You can absolutely, you can go viral. Sure, you can do that. Can you get thousands of views? Absolutely, you can get thousands of views, right? You can even have people watching you every single day, commenting, and that's nice. We appreciate that. We value that. But you can also feel like nothing is moving in your business. Remember that when you're creating your $1 million framework, your $1 million business, it's not just about going viral. It's not just about the 1,000 views or the engagements or the comments, right? Sometimes you can do all that and nothing is going for you. You get no growth, you get no traction, you get no real progress in your life and or your business. And that's the part right there that actually hits different for a lot of people. Because now it feels like you're just creating content, and there's nothing that's actually going for you. Or you're creating content and you was hopeful that you was going to turn that thing into a business, but in reality, you just turned it into, I guess, a side project where you have fun, but you're not creating any revenue for yourself. So this series is designed to help you get that insight. How do we build our $1 million framework and do it in 12 months, right? So you know what you start doing? Now you start asking, well, how do I get seen? I mean, or you go from not how do I get seen, but you start asking, why isn't this turning into something bigger? How do I make it turn into something bigger? So here's the message, family. Attention is loud, okay? Attention is very loud. Momentum is quiet. There's a difference right there. If you don't understand the difference between the two, attention and momentum, you'll stay stuck in that loop where people are just watching your content, but you're not actually building anything, right? So this is designed to break that down. How do we turn that attention into momentum in this series? As always, listen, chat boxes are going to be open. You can drop your comments. I'll work through my talking points. If you have anything to say, I'll make sure to check back in on you. I see more people coming in. I see Instagram family coming in. Thank you, Instagram family. I see my YouTube fam, Rob Dunn, ATX. I see you, family. I see TikTok is in there. Is that Martin Gonzalez? Appreciate the love, family. And then all the other names as well. Some of you guys have these handles. I'm not going to say every single name on screen just because some of your names are so unique. But thank you for joining. Episode 48. Let's get into it. So here's a promise. I want to hit you with this promise right here. In this episode, I want to walk you through something that I had to learn in real time, like while I'm building this series out in public. And I'm going to share it 100% with you. I see you, family. I appreciate the love. So we've already proven so far, this is week 10, episode 48, what we've been proving already. We've already proven that you can get attention. We can get attention, that I can get attention, right? We've seen the traffic. We've seen the numbers grow. We got over 6,000 people that signed up for their newsletter, and they did it in 2 months. We've seen that. We got the attention. We got the traffic. We've seen the engagement coming in, like on these lives. You guys have been commenting. You've been coming back. You've been offering suggestions. You've helped me with a lot of business decisions already. So we've seen it. We got the attention. We got the traffic. We got the engagement. And we've seen people that are starting to pay more and more attention, right? That's all good. So now the real question is, how do I turn that into something that actually compounds? How do I turn that into a money maker? How do I turn that into real revenue for myself where I can actually build my $1 million framework? Like, we're not just interested in just views. We're not just interested in the likes. I'm talking about actual forward momentum where we're getting to that $1 million bag. So by the end of this, we're going to understand 3 things, okay? We're going to understand why attention alone is a trap if you don't structure it right. We're going to understand that. 2, we're going to understand the exact shift that you have to make to turn your viewers into momentum. You're going to understand that. And then we're also going to talk about the mistake that people make the most that keeps them starting over every single week. All right. So here's what I realized. I see a lot of people coming in. Thank you, family. Remember, we're streaming today on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, TikTok, as well as YouTube. Episode 48. We're going to turn your attention into momentum here in 2026. So here's what I realized. If your attention that you're getting on your post, on whatever you're doing in your business, if it's not leading anywhere, you know what you're doing, family? You're just performing. And I don't know about you, but I didn't go to acting school. My goal wasn't become an actor or an actress or anything like that. I'm actually creating a business. I wanted real revenue into my business. And a lot of us, we get stuck here. We're creating content, and you get likes, you get views, you get comments, you get engagement, but you're not making any money. So let's change that. So there's a reality check that I need you to know, family. Let's talk about this. I see you. Hey, bud. I see you, family. There's a reality check that you need to know. At first, everything you're doing, it feels good. It feels absolutely great. You see your numbers go up and you're like, yeah, man, this thing is working. You see people that start engaging with you and you're like, yeah, time to get excited, right? And then you start getting that validation that you're looking for. And then you're thinking, okay, I can make this work. Like this is really going to be a real path for success for me. But then it happens. It starts subtle, but then something happens. You know what that is? Nothing changes for you. Like absolutely nothing changes. And then you start feeling confused. You're like, wow, but I'm making great content. I'm getting people, I'm getting views, I'm getting likes, I'm getting engagement, but I'm not building anything. I'm not making any money. So in your mind, you start thinking, man, if more people are seeing me, shouldn't something be happening? Something bigger, like more opportunities, more growth, more traction? But it doesn't work like that. And you need to understand how the game actually works. So I'm going to break it down. Attention without direction is just noise. You need to understand that, family, okay? And I had to sit with that for a minute while I'm building this thing out. Remember, everything that I'm doing to build out this business in public, I go back, I put it in practice, and then I come back and I share it with you on camera. So you too don't have to be stuck in the same problems that I face while I'm building out this series, okay? So I have to sit with that for a minute. And it forced me to ask the question. What's the question, Patrick? Tell me what's the question. What is the question? What is all this attention actually pointing to? You need to be asking your same question for yourself. When you're creating something, where is the attention pointing to? And then what are we going to do with that? Not just why are people watching? We want to know what it's actually pointing to. So the thing that you really want to know is, where is your traffic going after they watch you for a period of time? You want to know that information, right? And if the answer is nowhere, we have a real problem. Houston, we got a problem. If people watch you, they engage with you, they like you, you get views, but your traffic is going nowhere and your revenue is not changing anything, we have a real problem there. And that's something we need to fix. So we're going to talk about that. Most people, they're building content, right? You think that's what you're supposed to be doing? Let's build some content. And then if I build enough content, I'm going to go viral. I'm going to get likes. All of a sudden, I'm going to get brand deals. I'm going to get sponsors. You're going to get all this. And then nothing happens. And then you question your whole freaking life. You're like, what the hell? Why did I do this? Why is this not working for me? But it's working for the next person who looks like me, right? It's because you're not building a path. What do you mean? Listen, I'm going to share it with you. I'm going to break it down. You're not building a path. So every time somebody discovers you, they leave the same way in which they came. So we've created the next step. No deeper connection, no momentum. You just got another view. That's all you got is another view. So that's when it clicked for me. It really clicked. Like I was missing, I wasn't missing attention. That wasn't the case. I was missing structure. This is a word that a lot of people don't understand. They've heard it before. You're missing structure in your content that's preventing your growth from actually getting your $1 million bag. Remember, I'm sharing everything that I learned on this 52-week build. We're in week 10 so far. This is episode 48. That means there's 47 additional episodes you may have not checked out before. Every single episode is designed to give you the insight, the framework, and the playbook so you can get your $1 million bag. If you haven't checked out the previous episodes, do that. I created a playlist on my YouTube page called Building $1 Million Business. They're free episodes right now. Every one is 30 minutes. And I'm knocking wood. No one, not one person in the 10-week build history that we've been doing has commented that they didn't like anything that they've heard. Not one person. Now, if I get a negative comment, it's only because you're trying to challenge me at this point. Let's get back into it, okay? So then something shifted for me. What shifted for me? This is where everything started to change. What changed? What changed? I'm about to share it with you. Like I stopped thinking about content as individual pieces. And this is where a lot of people get stuck. You start thinking of your content as just one individual piece, one individual piece, one individual piece. I started thinking about as a system. When we create your content, you want to create it as a system. I learned that momentum, it doesn't come from one video, okay? It comes from what happens after the video, after that content that you created. And this is where that structure is going to come into play. So I started asking myself, man, if somebody finds me today, what happens next? Maybe these are questions you need to be asking yourself. Maybe, do you know, like when somebody finds you, what happens next after they land on your content? After they viewed this whole 2-minute video that you created that took you a whole hour to edit behind the scenes, what happens next? Like, do they watch another video? Do they join something? Maybe it's your newsletter. Maybe you got a Facebook group or something like that. Do they learn something deeper from you? Do they stay connected in any other way other than just on social media? Like, these are questions we need to be asking ourselves. Or do they just scroll to the next post or maybe off your post altogether? If they start scrolling, if people just start scrolling, you know what you're doing? You're losing them. We're losing them, family. We can't do that. So this is where structure is going to come in place for you. Now, every piece of content needs to have a job, all right? And this is where a lot of creators, influencers, small business owners, mid-level professionals, you decide, hey, I want to be visible. I want to, because we understand we're in the attention economy. If I'm visible and I create content, it can actually lead to all these brand deals. It can lead to sponsorship. It can lead to growth opportunities, all this, right? But your content is not structured in a way that is not walking people down a path, right? We're not interested in just attention. We want people to move somewhere. We want our content to actually take them on a journey somewhere, right? And that's somewhere it doesn't have to be complicated. Sometimes we overcomplicate this right here, but it has to be intentional, family. So here's what I started realizing. Momentum is just attention that has direction. I'll pause there. Momentum is attention that has direction. Think about that. You're creating attention for your momentum to have direction for you. That's it. As simple as that. It's not more complicated than that. And sometimes we like to make it more complicated than that. If people are watching you consistently, great. But if they're not moving with you, then we have a problem. Then you don't have momentum. This is what we're missing, right? We need momentum. You have moments is what you've been having. You had a moment where somebody liked you, they engaged with you, and that moment was great, but now they moved on. But remember, we want them to actually do something when they land on our page. This is how we're going to get to our $1 million bag. And in those moments, they don't build anything. We don't want a moment. We want a framework or structure that's going to help me get there. So let me share the bill with you, okay? I'm going to share the bill. I see more and more people coming. Let me pause and say thank you guys for joining. Instagram is starting to pop up. I like that. LinkedIn is always showing up. I appreciate you, family. And then I got my YouTube family, TikTok, Facebook. Everybody's here. So everybody's showing love. Drop your first name, what platform you're streaming from. I'll make sure to say hi and thank you. And remember, I do these every single day, noon Central Standard Time. They're only 30 minutes long. So if there's other like-minded individuals like you who are interested in learning how to develop or build your $1 million framework, this is the place to do that, all right? So let me share the bill with you really quick. Here's what I started doing differently this week. I just started because remember, I'm learning as I go. So I'm learning this and I'm sharing it with you. This is where instead of asking, listen, I'm not asking. Instead of asking, how do I get more views? I started asking, what are you asking, Pat? how do I keep people moving? This is what we need to be doing. If you're building $1 million system, we need to be moving them somewhere, right? That thinking right there, that thinking alone, it changed everything for me. And hopefully it changes for you. We don't want them just to like, follow, and engage. We want them to move throughout the journey. So now I'm thinking about like, what does this piece of content actually leads to? This is what we need to be thinking. When I create a piece of content, what does it lead to? What's the next touch point for them? So what are they going to do after they watch the video? What are they going to do after they subscribe to the newsletter? What are they going to do after they read one of my blogs? How do I make it easy for someone to stay in my world? That's the thing. We don't want people to come in our world. We want them to stay in our ecosystem, right? So if somebody watches you once, that's attention. You get that, right? They watch you once, that's attention. But if they come back, that's the beginning of momentum. And this is what we need. If they start following your journey, that's where things start to compound. And this is what we're interested in. We're interested in that compounding growth. So now what we're doing, we're designing for that. We're not for perfection, okay? Not for by reality, right? Not even, but for continuity. We want to be consistent and continue the continuity. So let me be real with you. I'm going to share something with you. This part requires more thought, okay? I'm going to slow this down because it's going to require some thought. Now it's now it's not just about what I say. It's about how everything actually connects. So this is the level that most people never ever get to. Like they stay stuck chasing the next post, the next viral moment, the next engagement, the next like, but your business is not actually growing to your $1 million. So instead of building something that actually moves, you're actually building more content and your business isn't growing. You ever been there? Where am I at? Time check. I think I'm doing really good. So I got plenty of time. I think I can land this plane right here. Let me say this. Episode 48, we're turning attention into momentum. If this is your first time here, thank you for coming. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. What are we doing? Why are we here? We're building $1 million business and we're doing it in public, all right? Former healthcare executive, was part of an executive team that sold a $750 million technology company at the end of 2018. In 2023, I became a full-time entrepreneur. In 2026, I decided I wanted to build in public. I wanted to show people how to get their $1 million bag and do it in 12 months, right? If you haven't signed up for the newsletter, this is a great opportunity to do that. There's QR codes, there's floating banners, there's links in the bio, or you can simply comment newsletter. I'll make sure you get your personal invite. We've grown our newsletter already at over 6,000 people, and we did it in 2 months, right? We kicked this thing off January the 11th. So this thing is growing quite fast. Every single episode is designed to make you 1% better. Every single episode is designed to deliver a tool, some insight, or a framework that you too can develop or duplicate so you can get to your $1 million bag. Episode 48. The other 47 is on YouTube, or if you're on my LinkedIn, underneath my events tab, you can watch the other 47. I encourage you to watch those now while they're free. At some point, I will take those down and I will monetize those and create some type of course or playbook that you would have to buy. But right now, they're absolutely free. So this is what you should consider. You should consider the payoff, right? So here's what this week is actually teaching me. Attention gets you in the game. We understand it, all right? Half the battle is getting in the game, right, Pat? Yes, half the battle is getting in the game. But structure is actually what keeps you in the game. That's the difference between winning and losing. That's the difference between people who are pretenders versus the people who are actually building something. We want the structure. You need the structure. Your content needs to direct people somewhere. If you don't build something that actually captures and then redirects attention, you'll keep restarting the same way every single time. You're going to go in that same loop, just creating content. Family, that's exhausting. That's not what we want, right? You're trying to build something. Like you always start to feel like, I'm almost there. All I got to do is create one more post. And once this thing goes viral, I'm going to make my bag. But it never actually works. It's not moving you forward. It's not about being viral, family. It's about creating the structure and the frameworks to get you to your $1 million bag. So here's where it gets interesting. Once you start creating direction for your content, direction for the people who rock with you, direction for the people who engage with you, you start eliminating that problem right there. It's not about it getting attention. It's about guiding it. We need to guide attention. It's about handling it. So when someone lands on your post, when they land on whatever you're creating, where are you moving them to? And it's not just about simply calling it out, just, like I said, comment newsletter, you're going to get newsletter. Sometimes it's the structure behind that post. Once they enter your ecosystem, where are they going from there? Are we keeping them in our ecosystem, or are we allowing them to escape our ecosystem? That's the difference between structure and frameworks. This is why you may see one of your creators, they blew up. They went from 5,000 followers and all of a sudden they got 300,000. They went from 10,000 followers and all of a sudden they got 600,000. It's because they understood the framework behind the scenes. That's the structure, the automation. That's the part that's keeping you in the ecosystem invested in what they're creating. So you know when they're coming back, or you know when they're dropping new content, but also now you have an opportunity to rock with them. You have an opportunity to invest in them. You have an opportunity to support them. This is what we need to be doing in our business as well, as you're creating that framework. And you start noticing when people are actually start saying, you start noticing when people actually start saying, you'll notice when they start engaging more consistently. You'll notice when they start expecting more from you, right? So this is where all this right here starts to create pressure at some point. If you're creating content and you get likes, you get engagement, you get people commenting, people asking stuff from you, that's pressure, because not only are you visible now, and maybe like me on camera, but people want stuff from you. If you don't have that structure in place, you're going to die out before you ever blow up. And this is where a lot of people get stuck, and this prevents them from moving to the next level. Family, that's a different kind of pressure. Not everybody's built for that. So be careful about what you're asking for. You may be asking for something you're not mentally ready for, or financially ready for, or you don't have the systems in place that help you with that traffic that actually comes in. So this is what I build. I build the frameworks. I hope you understand that. I'm building your $1 million playbook. I do it in public, and we're building this thing together. So you guys have helped me quite a bit. Let me pause there because I'm about to close this thing out. I see more family coming in. TikTok, thank you for the love. I appreciate that, man. Instagram, thank you for the love. I appreciate you. LinkedIn, appreciate the love. I appreciate you. Facebook, man, Facebook are my solid watchers. Like, no, I probably get more watch hours from Facebook than anybody else, which is interesting. Maybe because they feel like they're closer to me. All right. And then YouTube, man, my YouTube has been popping like crazy. So thank you for the hours you guys have been giving me on YouTube as well. Building momentum is one thing. We know that part, family. Building momentum is one thing. Sustaining it, that's a whole different conversation. You know what we'll do? We'll probably go there in episode 49. Listen, family, I appreciate you rocking with me. Today, we talked about, what did we talk about today? So today we talked about how do you actually turn attention into momentum. And remember, the big thing in here is structure. We're going to be back tomorrow, noon Central Standard Time. Every single episode is only 30 minutes long. Invite other like-minded individuals like you to join me. It always makes the conversations more interesting, especially when I get your insight and your views. The other thing, if you haven't signed up for the newsletter, it's a great chance to do that absolutely today. We're 6,000 plus strong. We're growing at the 50,000. So that's the goal that I have. And we're building $1 million in public. There's a whole lot of stuff that maybe if this is your first time here, you may have missed in previous episodes. So go back and check that out. This is week 10 of a 52-week build. So that means we have 42 more weeks of building this thing out in public. And I'm super excited to be sharing with you some of the things that's coming forward that I'm working on behind the scenes. So family, thank you for joining. I appreciate the love. Until tomorrow, let's keep getting it. Talk to you soon.